we finally reached the last episode of the Death Star build series. In this video, I'll finish the set once and for all, and then we'll take a closer look at all the minifigures. By this point, the missing pieces had really started to become a problem. It was still the same 4 parts that were missing from the beginning, but without them it became much harder to finish the build properly. Luckily, the replacement parts finally arrived, so now I can complete the model the way it was meant to be. Overall, I really enjoyed building this set. Aside from the missing pieces, I didn't run into any major problems. The brick quality is perfectly acceptable. It's definitely not Lego quality, but it's nowhere near the worst clone bricks I've used either. I've built better Aliexpress sets, and I've also built much worse ones. I'd say this one sits somewhere right in the middle. The building experience was fun, and by the end everything came together really nicely. I also loved all the little Easter eggs hidden throughout the model. Of course, those come from the original Lego design, but there's still a lot of fun to discover. One of my favorite scenes is definitely the Stormtrooper bathtub. It's so ridiculous that it somehow becomes amazing at the same time. This shape here is actually my fault. I didn't realize some of these sections weren't supposed to be that close together. I could have fixed it, but honestly, I just wanted to keep building, so I left it as it is. The elevator is functional, although it's a little difficult to operate. At one point it gets stuck, the crank becomes really hard to turn, then suddenly it jumps and starts moving normally again. There's a good chance that's actually my fault too. I probably pushed something together a little too tightly during the build. The print and display plaque looks great. The printing is sharp, nothing is blurry, and the overall quality is surprisingly good. Most of the replacement parts actually came from Temu. It was much cheaper than buying original Lego pieces. Around 20 clone parts cost about the same as a single genuine Lego element. I needed 4 of these gray pieces to finish the build, so ordering them from Temu made much more sense. I did buy a couple of genuine Lego pieces as well, but in total I spent around $15 on replacement parts. The seller had already agreed to compensate me for the missing pieces, but Aliexpress rejected my refund request anyway. Even though I submitted screenshots of my conversation with the seller, I really don't like when things like that happen, but eventually I just moved on. Now that it's complete, I really like how it looks. Personally, I don't mind that it's only a slice of the Death Star since I display it against a wall anyway. It creates the illusion of the entire station, and I think it looks fantastic. One thing I was worried about was moving the set, but thankfully it's actually very solid. You can pick it up, move it around, and everything stays together much better than I expected. Alright, now let's take a look at the minifigures. When I first assembled them, I actually thought they looked pretty decent. Sure, there were one or two that immediately stood out as being pretty bad, but overall I expected them to be acceptable. Then I compared them side by side with the original Lego figures. Yeah, most of them are absolutely terrible. So here's my advice. Never compare them to the originals. If you don't, they're pretty decent. The moment you put them next to genuine Lego minifigures, it's over. And seriously, what happened here? What happened to Luke? He looks like an Australian surfer who accidentally wandered onto the Death Star. Even with those funny-looking minifigures and the missing pieces, I still think this set offers incredible value for the price. Once it's finished and sitting on display, it looks absolutely amazing. And this guy looks like Einstein.